Hello everybody. If you're expecting to see something involving hammock camping and what have you, you'll be a little bit disappointed. We do have another passion in camping too, and that is with our vintage travel trailer. We're a member of some Facebook groups that involve these things, and some of the people on the Santa Fe site, they requested that somebody post something on how the Gaucho bed is made. So this video here is not going to be about a hammock, it's not going to be about tent camping or anything like that, and it's not going to be a product. It's going to be about how this Gaucho bed in our trailer is assembled. It's not a highly polished video. It is not meant to be entertaining. It's meant to be instructive. Just give information to somebody that they really needed it. They need the measurements. They needed to see what it is. So please keep that in mind when you're rating this thing. I mean, if you go in and expect something and it's not what you want, remember there are other people out there too that need some help. And I like to give help whenever I can, and it doesn't really matter whether it has to do with trailers, with hammock camping, or any other subject. I can help out. We're going to do it. Here it comes. So here's the basic layout of this thing. It's just a piece of plywood. You can see that we've got the base here, and this here is a fiber board. It's kind of like a cardboard type stuff. It's not wood, but it's highly compressed fibers. The full length of this thing from end to end is 6 feet. From the wall to the edge of the thing here is 23 inches. Each of these little panels is 22.5 inches by 35 inches. There is a gap here in the middle, and that is about, let's get a better look at this, let's see. That is 2.5 inches there. And then on that you have, if you look right here, we'll be taking this outside to show you the build on this, but you'll see the guide there that keeps you locked into that. Get this up out of the way. Now what we're using here is, these are 3.5 inches wide by 3/4 of an inch deep. These here are 3/4 inch deep, and these are 1 3/4 inches wide, each of these two. Of course you can modify them to make whatever you want, but I'm giving you measurements of what we have here. Let me get this outside, because we'll be looking at this outside. Well, the height of the thing, total height, is 14.5 inches. So the doors here is 22 3/4 inches. The door itself is, let's see, 20 1/4 inches. And it is 10 inches high in the opening. You got a split panel here. And this stuff here feels like 1/8 inch luan. That's the same thing that's on the face of this here. There's about a 2 inch wide piece of wood right here that travels the whole base of it. Let's get off of here and see if we can get in here a little better. Now you can see we've got a piece of wood here. Piece of wood runs down right down here. There's one here for each of at the end of the openings. You can see right there. And there's another piece here. This wood that runs vertically and horizontally is, as you can see, right about 1 3/4 inches by 3/4 of an inch depth. Now attached to them right here is where the slides are. And they slip right underneath, and they're the same as this here, these here, 3/4 of an inch. And they're 1 3/4 inches deep. You can see that there's a slide cut down in them, a little groove, and the same up underneath, a groove. Now these run 4 feet in length, the ones with the grooves in them. Okay, so what you've got is you've got a piece of wood here like so, another piece sandwiched under it, or down in the bottom area, it's on top. And it is 4 foot long. And let's see, it starts in at a little over 8 inches, right? At 8 1/4 inches. It starts at 8 1/4 inches here and then goes that way for 4 feet. On the face here, I would like to see, and I'm going to probably modify this, I would like to have seen some wood run the full length here. What they've done is just put a piece of wood right in here and then attach the glue on there. Not real pleased with that, so that's going to get changed, but that's what's in here, if you're interested in that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the wider ones, and then the 2 small ones here. And this underneath here is about a piece of 1/2 inch plywood. You see the other side is basically the same. And this luan runs all the way behind this closet here. It comes right to the end there. Now our trailer is a bit different than trailers if you don't have this storage thing. We got a little storage thing back here. Let me give you some measurements on this. Storage thing is about 10 inches wide. We're looking at a total of about 6 feet here, from wall to here for the bed, with an opening in between the bed of about 22 inches. And that is from the edge of this here. They actually make that 21 inches between here and the edge of the one here. So when you're making your mattresses or your pads, you're going to need to basically take 21 inches, divide that in 2 to get your upright pad against the walls. That will allow you to have this pad, the upper pad here for both of them will slide together, and then you fold the other ones down, it'll completely fill this area. Let's go outside and take a look at how the top is made. Now this video is not going to be a real highly polished video, folks. I just want to get this out here so I can give you the information. To get a little bit better on this, better measurements and all, you can see that this piece of wood that runs horizontally across the entire front of the framing area here is recessed enough, which is about 3/4 of an inch, to make this luan, when it comes up, flush with this right there. Now you'll notice this is not real flush right here. It's a little higher than the front here. Not sure why they did that. Also, across the back here is a 2x2. This is your support, which runs the entire length all the way up there, right to the opening here. And if you'll see, it comes just enough short so the Luan, let me get my fingers in this thing. Where am I? There it is. Just enough short that the Luan can fit between it and the door framing. All right, this is a 1/2-inch plywood sheet, and again, it's going to be measured in at about 2 feet. By actually 5'11" on this. Okay. In the front here, it has, and this has been, the edge has been rolled over here and on the top. This is about 1 3/4 inches, which is basically the same stuff as this, but they've routed the edges and rounded them to make them a little more comfortable. We also have, right in about the center of this thing, we have a hook here with the eyelet inside there. You hook this on, it keeps these things from moving out as we drive along the roads. Now here's where we have the legs, and the legs are, this is the factory, and it's kind of hokey. We've got 2x3s. Down here, just an L bracket. A couple screws going in here. A couple screws with nuts on it there. Same on the other side. It's about 10 inches in from the end. And on the back, we're about 14 inches in from the end. There is nothing under here. This thing sits flush on the floor. And when you're moving it, now watch this, you can see how the thing moves. When you slide it back, you're going to have to kick that back into place. That's pretty much it. It is, like I said, this is 1/2-inch plywood. And that's all it is. Both sides are the same. And these things here are about 1/8 inch. Now, I would imagine you could use 1/8 inch Luan on there, it'd be just fine. But I'm sure they use this because it was cheaper. Alright, to get a little more technical on this thing, you can see that this is the front panel, which runs along the side of the upper portion that you pull out. And should I get this thing focused in? If you look, you can see that it's been routed out a little bit, where it drops down a little here and in a little here so that it matches across the top. But you can see that you can see how it sits in there. The quality of plywood that they used didn't look like it was really, really high quality. Look at this. And it's like this on both sides. Down there we've got the same thing. They put the bad side down, but the quality isn't that good. But you do need to have it, because the distance between this one here and this here, and each of them all the way down as you go down, would allow the mattress to actually sink in. We don't want that. So that's why you have to have this Luan here, or whatever this stuff is. But I would just use Luan, because you're going to have plenty to build this thing, and it'll probably have plenty extra. But it's 1/8 inch, and it does the job well. We don't have any problems with it. I have tried it without it just to see what it would do, and yeah, you can't sit on it, it just sinks in. And when they're completely collapsed, you can see that there is a bit of a gap along the back there, and that's just fine. It's about 1.5 inch gap. These items underneath this Luan, or whatever this stuff is, in ours it was not attached to anything. I don't see any reason why you couldn't attach it, but it is not attached in this thing, and it just floats free in there. I kind of like it, because when I sometimes need to get something that's in the storage bin that might have slid all the way back there, getting through this little door down here is not easy. I can lift that up and get to storage and stuff. So I would probably recommend just leaving it unattached. And it never gives us any trouble. It doesn't slide out when we're opening the bed or turning this into a bed. Well, there you have it. That's how it's all put together. I told you it wasn't well polished, and it's not meant to be. It's just get that information out to you. If it's helpful to you, great. I appreciate hearing from you. Let me know that it helped you. If you get any questions, down below there is where you want to put those questions, and I'll try to address them as much as I can. Thanks for watching.